My name is Raymond Polak. My father started calling me Skip right after I was born, so I've been Skip Polak for the last 60-some years. And I am the manager of the Reno-Stead Airport. Before I came out here to Stead, I was working at the Reno-Tahoe International Airport as the Director of Facilities and Maintenance. The Reno-Tahoe Airport Authority is actually the agency that controls both the International Airport and the Reno-Stead Airport. And the lucky thing for me, as opposed to other small airports in the state, is I have the advantage of using their engineers and their personnel folks and their surveyors and everybody that they have down there to help run this airport as it needs to be looked after. Prior to coming here, I was familiar with air racing. I was a commanding officer of the Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center as an active duty Marine, and they asked me to come up here to be their guest of honor in 1995. So I actually got to watch the races from the grandstands in 1995. One of the first things that people notice when they come on this airport, whether they drive through the gate or they fly in, are the grandstands. The grandstands, of course, are only half as much as you would see here in September during the races. The Air Race Association starts building additional grandstands in August. But the other thing that actually stands out and people have to comment on are the race pylons. People for their first time here say, what are those trash cans on top of those poles out there around the airport? And it's kind of unique because they're different colored and they're set in different locations around the airport. The airport is about 5,300 acres large, and there are pylons that the pilots race in their various categories scattered all through the 5,300 acres. There's only 5 of us here in this airport. We have myself, we have Patty, who manages our office, we have Ed, our lead technician, we have Todd, our mechanic, and we have Rich, who is our maintenance worker, and that's all. And we've got, like I said, 5,300 acres. So we have our own share of misery and our own work to do. This is a functioning airport, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We do all kinds of things here. We do a lot of different pilot training. We have 3 different flight schools here of our own. We have all the people that have come up from the Reno and surrounding airports to land and take off and practice their maneuvers here. We have a very, very active BLM firefighting activity, and we've had as many as 9 helicopters and 9 fixed-wing airplanes operating out of here at 1 week. There's a Navy Marine Corps Reserve Center behind our office about a block. On the west end of the airport, there's a National Guard base. It has both helicopters and fixed wing, along with truck driving units and a training unit, communications units, just a wide variety of things that the Nevada National Guard needs in order to do all their missions that they have. We've got a 14-acre hangar site on the very west end. We've already put in the taxi lanes, and we've stubbed up the utilities there. We expect to see construction there probably within the next couple of months. And the other really big news for us, and it's a real plus for the private pilots on this part of Nevada, is we've just finished doing the certification process for an instrument landing system. We actually put that in about a year ago, and it's taken that long to get certified. And the FAA just finished doing the certification on that about 2 weeks ago, and we're waiting for the approach plates to come in so that they can be distributed nationwide. And then I expect that we'll see a real increase of people trying to get certified in instrument landing approaches. My major duty, and the thing that I take the most pride in, is aviation safety. The first thing that we always look at in the morning is to make sure that our pavements, our painting, our lights, and our signage are all up to speed and meet all the FAA requirements. And no matter what happens in any of those things, we will spend the vast majority of our day making sure that that airport is up to compliance with all the FAA regulations, and it's safe for all the pilots, either landing or taking off. And then after that, we go after the things like mowing, we look at drainages, we look at weed killing, we look at fences, locks, security. We have some security cameras around, and we're putting in more in the next year. Those are our primary concerns, is aviation safety, making sure that pilots can land and take off, and then making sure whatever assets they land here and whatever assets our tenants have here is safe, and we do that with the locks and security camera. Well, during race week, the whole airspace around the airport is put into a waivered status by the FAA, which allows people to fly in close proximity and close to the ground in speeds that normally are not allowed that close to the ground. We have limited access during the air races, and people have to have various kinds of passes in order to come on the airport. And that's for the safety of everybody. If everybody could just drive on or just kind of march onto the airport, we'd have problems trying to control people on the aviation surfaces. And so those are the biggest differences. The airport runs according to FAA regulations, and We very seldom have anybody that violates those. I can't think of maybe but 1 or 2 violations we've had since I've been here. So our big challenges, of course, are maintenance. Trying to keep asphalt in this environment up to code is very, very difficult because it's so dry, and our asphalt actually decays from both the top of the asphalt where the air hits it and the bottom where the ground is so dry it sucks the oil out of the bottom. During the air races, the biggest challenge is just trying to make sure that everything still flows and we have the safety in place. And luckily we've got a great safety committee on the Air Race Association. There's a safety designated person who's very, very interested in making sure safety's there. And the other thing that we do is we have tabletop exercises where we create some sort of emergency in all the different agencies, from the city, police department, the fire departments, the county fire and the county police. We all sit together along with the air race officials and everybody else, FAA, NTSB, and we go through the various aspects of this emergency and we figure out how it has to go. And that is one of the highlights of the year for us, is that we get to participate in that exercise, and I really think it pays dividends when something does happen here. Because I've been here about 9 race seasons now, I'm kind of used to being thrown curveballs, and it's usually not the race association that does it. It's the vendors, or else it's the performers that come in and say, oh, by the way, I need this or I need that. We just sit back and take everything in stride. You try not to get excited about things. You just go and say, okay, I can do this if you can do that, and we work something out. You know, this is the only event of its kind in the world. We all like to see it go off without a hitch. We all want to see it be as perfect as we can make it. So we try our best to make this thing work out as perfectly as we can for the fans and for the participants. In my view, they have gotten much tighter control of everything. That leaves more room for people to walk and stand and watch the air races. It also provides less problems for us, because when you have cars jammed in various places, you can't get ambulances and fire trucks in there if you absolutely need to. And they attended to it just as soon as I pointed it out as what I thought as a deficiency, and they fixed it right on the spot. I like the unlimited racing. I guess everybody does, but I really like to see the big airplanes fly around. I also like the jets, but you know, they're relatively new, but I really like the old World War II planes. I like to watch them fly. Unfortunately, I don't often get to sit there because there are other things that are going on all the time that we're going and chasing down, but that's one of my favorite parts.